Today we are learning about the chapter What, Where, How and When. This is the introductory chapter in your history syllabus. Here we will learn that why we need to learn history and what is the importance of learning history. How history is helping us to know better about our past and to improve our present and future. What we are learning from this chapter? We are learning what to know, we are learning where it happened, we are learning how was their life, we are learning when it happened. If you can answer all these four, the entire history, whatever you will be learning, the entire module of history will be easily covered by that. Every chapter, these are four basic questions which we need to know. Before we start, let us see that what is history. History is actually the story of famous people. His story. If we just divide the word history, we can see that it has two syllables. One is his, one is story. So, story about some famous people or someone who has some impression in the timeline of history, we can call that as history. History can be divided majorly into three parts. One is prehistory, next is proto-history and the third part is history. What is prehistory? Prehistory is the timeline when people, they started improving themselves. They were no more ape man. They started improving themselves. They started even writing, even rock painting, these all started. But whatever, before they learned how to write, that time period, that was a huge time period when people has no idea how to write down. That period is known as prehistory. They know how to rock paint, but they don't know the alphabets, they don't know how to write. This time period is known as prehistory. Next we are coming to proto-history. Proto-history is the time period when some of these civilizations, they grew up. And these people, they started writing. They have their own scripts. They started writing. But unfortunately, even today, their writing is not deciphered. We don't know what they have written. We are not aware about the scripts they used. So, this time period we have given a name as proto-history. Researchers are working on this. I hope someday there will be no period like proto-history. The entire part will come to history, because the moment we will be able to read, we will be able to decipher the scripts they use, then the proto-history period will no more be there. Do you know what is the best example of the proto-historian time? The time in India, Indus Valley civilization, the Harappan civilization. These people, they know how to write. They wrote down, they wrote a lot on some of the hard surfaces. But unfortunately, even today, we are not able to decipher those scripts or language. Though some of the modern archaeologists, they are claiming that yes, they are now working on that and they are able to decipher them, but yet in concrete proof we are waiting to get that, not yet received. So, that time period, the Indus Valley civilization, we call it as proto-history. Next is coming to history. Now, it is clear to you. History means whatever, this is the time period from where people started writing and we know what they have written. We are able to decipher them. We know what they have written, how they was, even some written evidences we have in our hand. We call it the time period of history. This is the basic idea about history. Now, the common question arrive in our mind that what we need to know about the past. Why we need to know it? There are several things that happened in the past. If we don't know them, we will not be able to know better what is going on in present and how it will be happened in future. So, to have a bright and golden future and to live in the present properly, we need to know the past. from where we derived, from where we came and how it is improving, from which sector to which sector we are working. These all are given a clear idea when we read history. There are several things to find out, like where people live, how people, what is the origin of mankind, how they came to earth, and then how they started living, how was their lifestyle, was it like the way you are living now, was it something else, how was weather and climate in the world, and how these people, the people, those who have, we claim that they derive from the ape man, how they gradually improve themselves, what are their main discoveries, which all they invented to modify their life. There are many questions like this. How it happened. So this is the basic thing of history, and these all the people, those who are studying this and those who are helping us to know about this thing, we call them archaeologists. Next we are coming that where do people live? Thousands of years ago, there are the apartments we are living nowadays, or the big houses, people cannot think even about them. Have you ever seen a monkey is building his own house? No, that was the life of common human being in the prehistorical age, when people they started learning how to keep themselves safe. Now, what was the procedure? Maybe sometimes they used the tree branches, sometimes they took shelter in the caves, and how we come to know now, I told you that was the time when people never knew that what to write and how to write. So there is no written evidences for this time period. But people, they kept some other evidences which we call as archaeological evidences. By seeing them, we know that yes, people started living in this way. We have seen their rock paintings, we have seen the caves where the people maybe before 6,000, 8,000 years ago, they lived there. They cooked, how they did it, whatever the other artifacts available there, how they live. That is the way we started finding out the people from in the Paleolithic or the prehistoric age. Then we find that people, they find it difficult to live alone. Man loves to live in social life. So they started gathering together, maybe first time to prevent some wild animals to attack them, and then they started living together in a form of a tribe or a group, and they domesticated some of the plants and animals. So they need to settle down in one place in order to protect their animals and their domesticated plants. These areas where they started settling down, we call them as village. Now, what are the places, which all are the places they choose to live in? If you see, their people even now, they like to settle down in a place where all the facilities are available. People love to settle down in the cities like Hyderabad, the cities like Bangalore or Delhi, but not at the point of Mount Everest. What is the reason? Because the facilities for livelihood available in all these cities are not available in the point of Everest. Life will be very hard if maybe it is not possible even that if people they want to live in the mountain Everest. But at the same time, they need to the people, those who settle there, they started searching for water resources, because water is the basic thing of life. First they need to search for water. So most of the civilization, most of this type of villages we found at the river valleys. Indus River civilization, Mesopotamian civilization, that also in a river valley. Egyptian civilization, that is in the valley of Nile. You all know that. Chinese civilization, Huanghe and Yangtze-Kiang rivers are flowing there at the base of the civilization. Even in India, when Aryans they came down, they settled down. You will find they settled down in the areas of the river valleys, first in Indus, then in Ganga Brahmaputra areas. So every time water act as the main resources, the riverside civilization. Geographically, the areas are very much enriched, where they are getting their food easily, where they are getting their fruits easily. They need not to search hard for fruit for their food. They started settling down in all those areas. So first we have seen around 4,700 years ago in India, in Indus Valley civilization that grew up in the river valley of Indus. And these all river banks, not only Indus, Ganga and its tributaries, they are along with the sea coast. These areas are very much fertile. So when they domesticated some of the plants like wheat, like rice, it was easy for them to grow more food for them that is needed for them. So they settled down in those river valley areas. Even after that, we can see the rulers, when they started establishing their kingdom, the big rulers, they also always was fond of controlling these rivers. The river valley areas controlled by some of the major kingdoms, they ruled the entire area, like Magadha, like you know that Ayodhya, that is Ram Janmabhoomi, King Rama was ruling there. That also a tributary of Ganga, that is Saraju river. Delhi, the areas of Delhi, many kingdoms, Kurukshetra, all these, Hastinapur, these all evolved because many free flowing rivers are there. That is the Gangetic rivers, like even Yamuna is there. So all these places ultimately they depended on river valleys to develop their areas or the plain areas. People, they started moving from one place to another place. Now what is the reason you are moving from one place to another? You don't need to think now about food, but getting food. You don't need to think about getting shelter nowadays, because the common places, if you want to move from Delhi to Bangalore or Bangalore to Calcutta, you will get abundant food supply, you will get abundant water supply, and at the same time you will get many apartments are ready for you to relocate. But those days were not like that. Then what was the reason they started relocating from one place to another? We have seen many tribes, they came to India, they settled down. But once they settle in one place, after some times, we have seen a movement in their lifestyle. What was the main reason? The reason was they were completely dependent on nature. So in one place, if the food, that is, they consume the entire food, they need to go to another place to get supply of more food. Naturally, they try to find out some of the places where enough quantity food is available. Once that is consumed, they naturally need to relocate to other location. The same way, when they started living in a village, Indus Valley, after Indus Valley civilization, we have seen that maybe there was a flood or Saraswati river completely dried out, or there is some natural calamity happens. So Aryans first they settled in Brahmavarta, and then they came down in Aryabharta, that is the Ganges river location, and they come down. Now what happened to these the people, those who were the ancient people, those who were there in Indus? Naturally Aryans, they were behaved good with them. They made them their dashas or slaves, or chased them away from that place. So these people then came down to South Indian region, and wherever they got good water resources, or they got good food or fruits or the fertile land, they settled down there. So if we see the trend in history, we can claim that the reason they relocate at the time was mainly food and water, at the same time shelter. if there is a good food, if there is a good shelter, as well as the land is fertile. When they started domesticating plants, they started agriculture. If the land is fertile, they relocate from that place from the place that is not that much fertile. Even we have seen when life developed, we have seen for business also people started moving from one place to another. Some of the cities, they grew up very well. You know, you will learn about 16 Mahajanapadas. They are the big cities at that point of time. And to get their proper business, people started relocating from village to town in a seasonal basis. They used to come, they used to gather their products, whatever the products they want to do business, and then they gathered them. The merchants, they used to come to the city area, that is the Mahajanapadas, where there are big marketplaces where they can sell their products and they can earn some money. So for business purpose also, people relocate from one place to another. They even relocate outside of their own country, outside of India. India has a very good trade relation with China, with Mesopotamia, with Egypt. We have seen even almost 4,000 years back, they have a very good business relation. And as the days gone and people started interacting with each other, the Silk Route developed from which connected China as well as Middle East with India, and India developed a very good trade relation with them. So business was another reason for what people started moving from one place to another. Even the religious teachers, they used to travel from village to village. Even some of them, they came from outside of India to preach their own religion or to learn more from India. Like Huan Sang, the Buddhist priest, he came from China and he came here to learn Buddhism, and then he started preaching Buddhism, and he traveled a lot throughout India and even outside India to spread Buddhism. Like this way, even people they started with this religious gurus also, they started moving from one place to another. The people from frontier areas also, in search of good and healthy life, they started moving to the fertile land, the fertile sector of India, where they can get their life much smooth rather than the places they live there. Even the villagers also, sometimes we have seen when the city developed, we have seen the villagers, they are moving from one place to another. Now, how India got its name? We call it as India. How the name came? There are many more sources. India is not only known by the name India, it has many names. We call it India, we call it Hindustan, we call it Bharat. India has many names. Now, from where these names derived? Who has given this name? This is the place of Hindus, that's why Hindu Kush and mountain and Hindus, that's the reason. Some people, those who came to India in the middle historical time, middle age, they started calling it as Hindustan. Because the Muslim people, they invade India, they started settling down in India by the name Hindustan. People call it as India, the art historian, they started writing this place as India. It came from the name as from Indus to India. In that way also people started. The Greeks, they were unable to call Indus as Indus, they used to call it as Hindus, and from Hindus to Indus, and then from Indus to India. Like that also. So there are many links like that. Name Bharat, actually it was used almost 3,500 years ago. It was a Sanskrit name, Bharat. It was first time we have seen it is written in Rig Veda, where they called it as Bharat. The Aryans, they named it as Bharat. There are many myths and stories about this name. Once they called that there was a great king called Bharat, and by his name, his land is known as Bharat Barsha, or the land Bharat. Like that, India got its name. Remember one thing, even this was the time when India got its name. The North India and South India part was not together, even the east and west of India, they were not together to give a name as Bharat. There was a small land that was called as Bharat. Ultimately, when the entire area marched together under one ruler, we got the impression of India.
If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel to get more videos on CBSE syllabus.